Start recording. Okay, so the sound should be a billion times better than it was last time. What does mean last time on my laptop? I think what the problem I had is I had a headset on with a microphone, but it recorded through the microphone and the microphone on the laptop in the lid, so on the monitor, a screen. And I just tried around. It sounds so much better when I have it only through the microphone from the screen, from the laptop. That's not what I want. I just can't get it to work. It's not the first time that I have something like this. I had it before, now I have it again. It's just what it is. So Devuan, too many here, right? So I said in one video, like, here it goes. On my laptop, I was thinking of having Devuan, Ghost Beastie, Salix. I couldn't make it work anyway, so maybe there is a way with the text installer. I think that should work. Could, maybe. If I distro hop there again, I try it out first to make sure it works or it doesn't. And Devuan. So I was thinking about these three. So Devuan, Ghost Beastie, and Calculate Linux. I wanted to have that too. I must say Devuan is very, very snappy. And I know I saw, what's it called? A kind of a review. People don't really review nowadays. In best case, they install it and then they give their impression of it. And some people just run the live ISO file and say, oh yeah, look, it has this and it has this, and oh yeah, look how fine that is. That's all great, but it doesn't help you much. That is how can I say it? I mean, by the way, I have to watch out. I do not have a pause button here. I don't know why, and I couldn't get it, but I don't have it. Maybe I'm not entitled to have a pause button. Can I pause it from here? Let's see. Right click. No, I cannot pause it. There's no way. However, then I'm not entitled to have a pause button here. Minor thing, not really a big deal. And you can see it's an older installation where I called it Dirk ME, because sometimes I use that name as a username, sometimes just Dirk, and I've got some other stuff. And when people say Devuan, oh, it's just like any other Debian distro, that is total nonsense. Yeah, that has nothing to do with Devuan. Devuan is by far more than just a Debian installation. That is, people just have no clue what they're talking about. So, for example, if you look in the repositories, that's Devuan, that they have their own repositories. That means they maintain them and do everything they need to do. And that is great. And what kind of has disqualified it, but not, it's a minor, that's not on the laptop, it's maybe a minor thing, maybe it's not so important. But everybody knows I like to have VirtualBox on, because VirtualBox, again, superior to Word Manager because of the virtual drive size. I can give it 200 gigabyte, and if I install, let's say, Devuan with, I don't know, 16 gigabyte, it's 16 gigabyte. It will expand to, let's say, 200 megabyte if it needs to, but it only takes the space it really needs, and it expands to the limit you told it. And that is great. So I like VirtualBox by far more than Word Manager, because my laptop has only 250 gigabyte or something. So that's not very much. If you have a few virtual machines with Word Manager, you're in zero time out of it. You have no more space for anything. So Devuan, what is the difference what I did? So when I install something, when I try to test it, I want to make it my home. That means I start installing all the goodies I would like to have. What I really like on Devuan, for example, is here Firefox is the ESR version. Thunderbird is also the ESR version. I haven't installed yet my profile. I showed how I do this because it's super simple. Very, very, very simple. I got Cleopatra here. And just in case, if you would like to have Evolution, I like from Evolution, I don't like GNOME actually, but they have a very nice calendar. And Evolution, it's okay. It's like Thunderbird. Maybe, I don't know. Thunderbird is very functional to me. I haven't tried Betterbird yet, but I should maybe have a look one day. And because my Thunderbird is set up, and the same it's actually all the same with Betterbird, except there are some things maybe nicer done. I can't really tell. I haven't tried it out yet, but profiles works the same way, so you don't have any trouble with that. There's no difference. What else do I have? Oh, yeah, so I installed, for example, here, where is it, education, I've got FreeCAD. So Devuan has the advantage, and I mean, as I said, that is their repository. So they put some work in it to get you what they need, because they have, as much as I know, this 5 Init. And by the way, this 5 Init, when people say, oh no, how do I work with that? I mean, you ever hardly work with it. And this is it. You can Google for it, for this 5 Init cheat sheet. Yeah. And oh yeah, here I call it cheat chart, but a cheat sheet. You will find it, and it shows you how it looks like, what you want to do in this 5 Init and systemd. But who wants to have systemd? Nobody really wants that, right? But it got shoehorned into distros, and you see what it does. And oh yeah, we provide digital ID, not a problem. We can do this. Of course they can. Wait, what they can do together with Wayland and Rust. You will have no more ownership of your computer, and it will not work anyway. So, my opinion, right? Yes, I might lose a few subscribers again, but I'm sorry. This is not a mainstream channel. This is not about clicks. I do not monetize. I do not want to have advertisement here, because I don't want to waste your time with some... I have to keep my swearing low here. With advertisement, you know, you have a nice cup of coffee, sit in front of your TV, and you see there people going to the, in English, toilet. Here they call it washroom. It's the same thing, you know. I what the heck? I wanted to watch, let's say, you can hardly do that. So you can hardly find any tutorials. They're also AI most of the time. If you want to see a review, there are still a few people who do reviews, but they're very simple made. You know, that's not really a review. They just show you what applications are available. Some talk a little bit more technical details, which is very nice, but only one. And I think that's an East Indian guy, but he does very good videos. I can't remember his channel because I haven't seen some stuff from him now. But he does some good stuff. That's very, very nice. He goes in great technical details. So I saw a Lubuntu video from him from 2510, where they had Rust built in, and it's causing trouble. It's causing some massive trouble. And Wayland, no, XFCE on Wayland, that was it. Well, there are Rust videos too, but that is nothing than trouble, because it's so many things are not working. And I don't really care. I was an XFCE baby all the time. I really, really liked it, and I still do. But if they spend now all their money to degenerate their Windows Manager, that's... it speaks books to me. That is, I can't actually understand it, why people would do this, and I will never do understand it. There's no reason somebody can tell me from logic. Yeah, if they would have too much money, all right, yeah, why not? They can do it. So I click that away now. So that's a cheat sheet. You know, you can service. It's always called service, and then you call your service, and then start service space, then call your service, then stop. And then service example restart. It's pretty simple, you know. It's absolute simple stuff. Yeah. So, and if it gets a little bit more complicated, if you really have to do something, you just look at it, and then you can do it. All right. So, and so here, if you look for VirtualBox, that's synaptic. So exactly as I said, virtual box, and they just don't have it. So it's not there. So I downloaded then the deb file, and there were missing, not much, but a few missing libraries, and I couldn't get installed. So sadly, I couldn't get VirtualBox running. If I would have had VirtualBox running, Devuan would already be on my laptop, because that was one of my go-tos. First I installed Calculate Linux, and I screwed it up. I really killed something badly. So then I tried Devuan. Yeah, it was great. Very snappy, very, very, very snappy. It's very nice. And you can actually encrypt it. And that is a major thing to me. On a laptop, I haven't figured out yet with Calculate Linux how to encrypt it. I looked into their partition thing, but I couldn't find anything. So, yeah. The same with GhostBSD. I wish that GhostBSD and what are they called here? Calculate Linux. that they put encryption in. That is so important because lots of people have laptops. And I always saying, when somebody steals your laptop, you are mad. If your hard drive is not encrypted, you are worried. So you don't want to be worried, right? It's not a good idea. And if you remember in that video with the bad sound from my laptop, sorry for that, guys, I used stake hide, right? So while we are here, okay, yeah, we can do it here. So we want to see Devuan icon. So let's see, we try something out here. The Devuan icon, they all look good. I would say I take that. Then I save it. Hopefully it is save image as. No, it's a PNG. It doesn't want it. I'll try this then. Save image as JPEG. Okay, that sounds good to me. So we call it Devuan. Devuan. Oh, spelling. One day I can get it done. Go into pictures. We save it here. So job done. And this thing is called steganography. Right? And it is actually in Debian or Devuan too. That means they put the efforts in to put that into their repro. And that tells me books, that speaks books to me. Of course, really important. So if I go to the Devuan JPEG, let's copy that first. I don't want to download it again. Pictures. Now we just copy it. Copy, paste, doink. So how big is it? It says 11 kilobits. All right, we can live with that. So if I click that away, I open that up with Stake Suite. Enter secret text. Does Gregor is watching videos to the end? Which is very good because often the good stuff comes on the end. So embed. I have to put a password in. And let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a very good password. There it goes. Embedded. It should have worked. So I'll click it away now. Where are we? Oh, dang it. There you go. So we go again in pictures. And this is now 11 kilobits. That's 11 kilobits. I don't see. Oh, embedded. Here it is. You see? They call it embedded. So it's 11.4. This costs 4 kilobits of text. So if I right click on it and say open with, or here opens with steganography. Duran. I put my secret password in. Then I say extract. There's my text. So stake hide gave you the text file, the literally text file, while this one is given to you in this window. The better thing on it is that even if you delete the text file, they might be able to recover it. So here they cannot, because it's not written on a hard drive. It's shown in this little window. So I like steganography. Steganography is very, very nice. I like it a lot. Stegohide is good too, because if you think what it is, a tiny little thing. And so I can delete this even now. And it gives you the ability to send a text message without being afraid that a scammer, a hacker, or a data broker is looking over your shoulder. I mean, if you have Windows, don't bother. If it's the low screen resolution, which gets sent every second or whatever, the keylogger gets it. So you have no secrets on Windows. There'll just be no privacy. We don't have secrets anyway, right? So, and by the way, while we're talking about all these things, while the Babylon system is getting the hands on our throat with the internet, later it's gone, because it's escalating everything now, right? That is actually a Bible thing. It's in the end times. Rapture date, yes, you can know the date, and no, there is not one rapture, there's actually 3, and you just have to read the book of Revelation and forget everything what you have been told, and then you can figure it out in no time. Because there's 3 groups getting picked up at 3 different times, and they have 3 different properties. So, and another thing, if you're not Christian and you have been told if you don't become Christian you go to hell, that's also not biblical. That is a human doctrine, that is about power. Because people like power. That's why we have pre-tribulation, mid-tribulation, and what's it called, after-tribulation. And that's all true. All 3 are true, because we have 3 raptures, but nobody knows. You're not getting told. However, back to the normal story now. So earlier, late. That's why I do everything on my network attached storages right now, that all my services run local. I don't want to be depending on the internet because there's certain things I'm just not doing. I will not have a digital ID. I will not upload my credentials to one of these fancy, great companies taking good care of your... Oh, here it is. ID merit, 3 billion record breach. How your federal ID ended up on the dark web. Oh, TLDR, yeah, too long to read. ID merits identification by banks, government, agencies. Just imagine it. And enterprise accidentally exposed 3 billion records. I will say sorry. No, thank you. Thank you, no, thank you. So, there I've got 3 billion reasons why I would not upload my credentials. There's just no way. No, not going to happen. They can't keep it safe. And the same with age verification is really... it's like what we have here in Canada, you know. They want to take legal guns out of people's hand, while as stronger and higher your crime is, you get bailed out. You can go home. Most likely you get an illegal gun back in your hand, and then you can go home. If you are legislation or bidding, because these are not laws, they're all legislation, right? They're for a registered person. And registered means abandoned, right? Registering your car means you abandon your car. You hand over ownership to the government. Government means civil servant. Yeah, they're not leaders, they're not kings, they're none of this. They're civil servants, they're working for you, they're spending your money, they don't own the people, they don't own the land, they don't own the money they're spending either. And they have to work, because they're our employees, our civil servants, right? They have to work in our interest. And I still haven't figured out yet what is the difference. I mean, maybe that's a second language issue that I can't understand it. I don't know what the difference is between lobbying and bribing. I don't know. Maybe there's a difference between American English and English. I've got no clue. However, leave this by side for now. That is that. So Devuan, totally different. See, I got sidetracked. Totally different machine. Devuan is, I would call it security hardened. So if you're an absolute beginner, and I mean, this will do everything you want to do except VirtualBox. That is a disaster. I wish they would have VirtualBox running on it. That would be, I don't know if they hear it or see it, or somebody can see it or say it. That would be actually great. Because it's the next candidate to go on my laptop. I've got Gentoo there. I'm doing my work. It's doing good. But how can I say? It gives me the creeps when I have a laptop without a encrypted hard drive, and I just couldn't get it with GhostBSD or with Calculate Linux. So if they put that in, I mean, especially GhostBSD, that is, they have ZFS. They could just put in ZFS encryption, Duran, and then you can do it. And the same with Calculate Linux. I think they will be able to put, I mean, the most people use LVM volumes for encryption, and that works too. Whatever encrypts my hard drive, and really does it, is pretty good. So, yeah, so, and by the way, this might look simple here when you see this, and I'm not a designer, but I do like the colors. See, I never use fast fetch, neo fetch, and all this has been tainted with some disgusting color choices on the bottom. I just find them disgusting. That is my opinion, and it's not going to change. While Devuan, they have a very nice color scheme here. You see that even here on the top. So I love these colors. That blue is very, very nice. I have the same on my calendar. I've got very many calendars that I can, in worst case, always hand one calendar over without the others. So private, business, and tasks, and this and that. And there's lots and lots and lots. I host them myself. I used Radical, which is a very nice program. Never ever let me down. But in the moment I have Nextcloud running. And I should go maybe to that too, because I've got all local. Nothing is exposed to the internet. No more. Yeah, I do have NetBird. I wanted to VPN in, but I think NetBird makes it a little bit easier right now. Not self-hosted. In the moment I use the service from them. I had good customer service because I had trouble getting my account working. I was waiting forever for getting approved. However, yeah, Devuan, I like. I mean, I had Devuan on my laptop as well as I had Calculate Linux. I must say Calculate Linux is very snappy too. But when you load it up like I did, so what I don't have here is Bamboo Studio. But I've got FreeCAD. I have to install, by the way, some stuff from, what is it called, from FlatHub, so Flatpaks. Because I have Signal for the laziest of the laziest, which have at least a tiny idea of somewhat privacy. That's at least the minimum. Session is already really not bad. It's pretty good. And then there is Simple X Chat. Simple X is the best. You have even the opportunity to use a kill switch. It is just perfect, and it does a really, really good job. It makes it so easy to use for everything you do, for groups, incognitos. It creates funky names for you, and you can be in, I don't know, 10 groups, and they all have different pseudonyms. It is just great. It is, wow, Simple X is really, really nice. While we're talking about it, let's see if they have it. I think they do. Simple. There it is. Simple X Chat. In my opinion, that's the best one. I also have Session, which is really, really good too. But Session, it runs on the Ox CryptoNet, while Simple X is running, I would say, like an almost like Matrix. It's like an email version-ish, right? But very, very nice, very well done. Runs through the Onion network. So they call it dark web. Dark web doesn't mean evil, bad, crime. It only means not visible, not so easily visible. While the internet's a clear net, and they try to control everything. They want to know how many times you breathe, how deep do you breathe, how much sugar to put in your coffee, how many milliliters has a typical coffee of you, how much sugar do you use, do you steer it properly, how do you drink it, do you zip it, what the heck? I mean, of course we need tons and tons of data centers if they want to know absolute everything you do. The other thing is there comes control, and we can't have it. So, Simple X, that is pretty nice. I just might. So if you say, oh man, yeah, but it's secret, and I have all these applications where everybody is listening. So you create, let's say, a group, or a pseudonym, or what is it called? An anonymous alias. You send this, the links to send, they're always one-time links. You send it to a friend. If you can't log in, then somebody interfered already. So then you send the next one, and earlier or later it goes through. Then this guy, or whatever it is, your friend, will come back for a contact request. You agree. Then you, while he did this, you can create a group contact, a group, invite him to the group, and then you send from this, what's it called? So he can make also a pseudonym and come back with the text to you and give you the link for that, so that you can verify that his identity, because you know who it is then. You have to verify it on the end too. And that's how you get somebody. While he's then with you in your private chat, you can change the profile, your contact profile. And that's how you then, the other link and other profile doesn't exist anymore. Yeah. So you make your own profile, which I call the main profile. It's almost like cubes. Then you make a anonymous profile. And with this anonymous profile, you do everything you want, and then you hand it over to another anonymous profile. And if you want, you just delete the first one. You can do as many as you want. And the kill switch or the self-destruct here in Simple Chat works like that. So if you have your opening, even you have it on the phone, you can't use this. You can go to log it, and there you will have the function for system or from the app. So you go in the app. That means it asks you for a number pad key to open it up. And once you have this, then you have the option for kill switch. So there you have to put a different number in, And if somebody blackmails you, and let's say there's a data broker, scammer, hacker, and says, give me the number or I'll break your finger. No, don't do it. So you give him a number, but you give him the self-destruct number. What it really, really does, it's not killing the app or your profile. It deletes your profile, but it boots up in a brand new one. So everything what was there is, of course, is gone. So that's just how it is. Everything you had is gone, but it opened up a new brand new profile. And then when they said, yeah, but you have nothing here, I thought you had. And then, yeah, but nobody does it. I wanted to use it, but no. Which is the truth. It's the truth, right? You're not, can't even get through a lie detector. Because people, how can I say this? They fight you to death when you say, oh, you can't use WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger. Right? They fight you. Instead of using a different app, which gives them the most best privacy ever possible, right? Signal is, simple chat, in my opinion, is better. Session is pretty good too. So you have to have both, because if you have a session, for example, and simple chat goes down for some reason, and you have your friend on session can say, oh, I just lost my everything I had. Can you send me a one-time link again for simple chat? Da-da. That's why you have to have also different Proton, of course. Yes, they protect you from advertisements, I would say, but definitely not from, let's say, law enforcement. But maybe that's not right side. You know what I mean. And Tuta2. So you need to have quite a few programs where you can trustworthy change some data, exchange some data. For example, I have a Proton account, but I also have a GPG key for Proton. Not the Proton GPG key. They have their own. That's okay. But it gets encrypted anyway with a different GPG key. So if I go to Proton and you read me emails which somebody sent to me encrypted, Proton couldn't encrypt it because they do not have the key. They can't. They don't have the private key. They have their own private key, but not mine. So so you can use everything. The best messenger is actually just encrypted. But simple chat, it's mind-blowing. Pretty good. So we got carried away, didn't we? So let's close this for now. So I got to it because certain things, these Flatpaks can be a blessing. So Devuan has almost everything. Of course, Bamboo Studio, they don't have it, but you can get it either from Bamboo Studio website or you use the Flatpak. And how can I say this? I don't want to pollute their ecosystem here from Devuan, because that's what I was saying. This is not this is just a normal Debian distro. It's absolutely not true. I don't know. This is from people who fly over and I don't know. Not my thing. It's not true. So, and I don't want to pollute this, so I would go for this Flatpak then most likely, so to keep it out of their ecosystem, right? And everything else, what I use, Brave, I just followed these installations here. So you go to the brave.com for Linux, and then I copied install curl, was already installed at Devuan, is already there. Curl this, that got added, the keyring. And then curl that was there. Then I did an update without upgrade. I just installed the Brave browser anyway, but then I run the upgrade too, just to get it done. And fast, very, very, very fast, absolutely fast. Yes, calculating, there's some compiling going on. It takes longer. So Devuan, absolutely fast. It's a very snappy experience. Whatever you do goes bam, bam, like really click. Goes very quick. So, by the way, what does it look here on space? See, that is my virtual machine, my Unread virtualizer, I call it. So it runs on an SSD. There's a 2 terabyte SSD and tons of virtual machines, and I actually use them. What I like here is the CPU, for example. That's an AMD 7, an old one, but it has 12, not 12, it has 16 cores, and you see I give it 10 here already. And 10 is fast enough. These 10 cores, they got quite some power. And I gave it 12.2 gigabyte of RAM. It has 20 something. So I don't want to have any bottlenecks anywhere, not for Unread to deal with the virtualization or with the machine running on it. The NVIDIA graphic card is put through nicely. And I'm not running the NVIDIA graphic card here, I think. No, I don't think so. Let's see. And video, because it's not I'm not playing on this. For playing, I have Nubara. That is good for playing. That's a very, very nice distro for playing. The problem we have now, and I have to make an extra video. Somebody's listening, though. That's most likely Gregor and a few others. The most people are just, they're like TikToks. They click, 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 swipe, 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 swipe. The attention span is sadly gone so quick. And to be honest, I'm sick and tired of these AI videos. Oh, am I tired? I like to watch reviews, even when people don't do it thoroughly. Yeah, when they say, oh, it's just like same like a Debian. No, it's not. I said that already, right? So now we know. But I like to watch some of these things, and no, you can't just skip it. It's all AI, and then when people actually do it with their own voice, then they'll just read an AI script. That's the same rubbish. It's just terrible. Huh? See here, I got VMs. No, don't, because I couldn't get it installed. So very sad. And internet, of course, works. Here you see there's my calculate that's a computer. Do is a server, Orwell is a server, TARDIS is a server, Tower is a server. We're on it right now. And Discovery is a server. So I have a few servers. Well, but most of them, they're just doing local stuff. The only thing with Synology is I use their nodes and the Synology drive with that, what's it called, quick connect thing. Oh, it's pretty nice. That seems to be very reliable. That's okay. It's good enough. And the last time I had to use the Flatpak from Synology, because I downloaded from Synology. Was it even here? I don't know. I downloaded the drive or the nodes it was, and it didn't want to do anything. Said all it wants to update, didn't update it. Could have been with Devuan. I don't know. It could happen to everybody who doesn't use System C or something. So I just used the Flatpak. However, in the moment I've got trouble, you don't have to work out things anymore. You can if you want to, and you can bring it forward if you want to. But is it worth the effort for Devuan? I would say no, because it's very specific and it's an easy fix. It's not that you, oh no, I can't use my Synology stuff anymore. Yes, you can. On almost every system you can get. And I said, if you have, for example, Ghostbeast and you can't use it, create a virtual machine and use it for this kind of work, for office work, or wherever you use nodes for and the drive. Or run it headless and have a shared folder and have that available on BSD, for example. You could use that too, right? You can run a virtual machine headless, and you can use something like Antiques, which is very, very lightweight. And if it runs headless, it's managing at least your Synology drive. The nodes, yeah, you can go on our website if you really need to. But I like to have it here, like click, click, click. I click around. I have this thing here. I mean, it's not a bad idea having that panel here, but in the earlier days I had here a dock, and I like that more. I might even put one here, though. Why not? We can do it. So here, for example, Synology, you find everything you want. I think they have even the chat there. Notes, Assistant, Synology Drive. Good enough for me. That's all what I need. Synology Drive, Synology Notes. So would I bother Devuan to, I can't install or can't update my Synology node? No, what for? It's not worth the efforts. They have other things to do, and I would think they're doing a really, really good job. Because as I said, this is not just Debian. This is hardened. This is made for security in mind. That's very, very nice. And for example, here my Nextcloud desktop sync, it never asked me here. On Gentoo, it's always popping up my browser. I always say login, grant, access. Here I don't. It's very convenient. I like it. It doesn't bother me too much because the browser goes open and I use it usually anyway. And it's already logged in on my local data server. And then I just go click, click, and it's good too. I like this, of course, more if my browser goes open when I want it. So, yeah, KeyPass. My password manager, no, I'm not opening it now. And the Synaptic, yeah, that's good enough to me as a software center or whatever you want to call it. So you can see I've got no more updates. Yeah, reload, neat. And it's very snappy, very fast. So like that. And then I'll go upgrade. It's updated already. So I did that all after I installed Brave, but I did it from the terminal. But that's what I'm saying. I do not want to tinker with their efforts. I call it their ecosystem, right? So I don't want to tamper around with this. I'm very happy they did it and that it comes from Devuan. So they do not do the age verification. These are not laws. They're legislation and they're crimes. They are not thought through. They're not covering anything. They're putting people in danger. So whoever does that is not competent enough to understand the subject he tries to judge or put into place. They're just legislation. They're not laws. And I made a statement, a public statement in 2019 that I do not consent to any of these legislations they pull out because they have shown to be not trustworthy anymore. Everybody did crimes from the government with the COVID stuff. And as I said, I just, for example, would like to know what's the difference between lobbying, like Facebook did, to get that legislation put in place, and what's bribing. What's the difference? I don't know. I can't work it out. However, I think that video runs already longer than I want. How long is it running? Doesn't tell me. Does it? Frames? Oh, 36 minutes. Okay, guys, I don't want to have you sitting here forever. I hope it's a little bit entertaining, even though I run in circles a little. Don't want to do it, but I do. I get carried away. And these videos are not just always technical. Yeah, I bring some little things in like stake height, stego suit, these little things, or and for example these, if you paid attention, like a little apps which are really good in keeping your privacy. And with everybody going crazy, this might be a lifesaver, right? And people are not aware that the only one listening now is most likely Das Gregor. The more people are not aware. If I send to Das Gregor something, let's say, what do they know? In the moment the Babylon system wants to get rid of Christians, for example, right? So if I say, text Das Gregor, let's meet at the church. Oh, we want to talk about Gento and stuff like that. But I thought it's a good point to meet. We meet you at the church. And now they say, oh, they go to the church. Look at that. Right? They just put that together how they like it to put together. It does not mean that Das Gregor I would be Christian. We might be. But they don't know. We just use the church as a point to meet. Right? So, but they read this and say, oh, we have to get them in the concentration camps because they're evil, they're Christians, all right? Oh no. So now you got the problem. And then there are so many people go to Proton because they believe it's end-to-end encrypted. Yeah, but not when you send an email from Proton to Gmail. The whole thing doesn't help you anymore. It's the same with Tutor. If you send an email from Tutor to Gmail, the whole quantum encryption is doing nothing anymore. Well, right, because you send it like in a postcard and everybody can read it. All right, that is that. So Das Gregor, I'm very happy to have you, that you actually listen, because if that is useful for one person, that's already really, really good. So I don't know, Das Gregor, let me know, do you encrypt your hard drive on your laptop? To be honest, I love the Gentoo on it, but it gives me cringe to know it's not encrypted. I usually encrypt all my installations. Here on this virtual machine, I don't need to because the server is encrypted, right? And it's very tricky. It's not a local file or something. It's very nice made, which I will not tell here right now. I might have to send you a logo, which you can look up. Yeah, we could do something like that with Simple Chat, right? So I can send you this one-off link. And then we do what I said. We just swap them a little bit, and all of a sudden we are anonymous connected. So, yeah, I like here the whole 2 terabyte hard drive is encrypted. So this is just it. Because, you might get some unfriendly people coming in your house and stealing what you got, and at least they shouldn't have the data. Of course, we have nothing to hide, but we have also nothing to show. My family photos are for my friends and family, but not for, I don't know, for what's our guy's name here, Gary? Gary wants his finger in my phone. So no, sorry, you can't. That means if push comes to shove, I will not have a phone anymore. I will not have internet anymore. I give a no. This is total I do not agree. I do not consent. And my phone doesn't belong to the public or to somebody who thinks he can have access. Right? So no, absolutely not. Got nothing to hide and nothing to show. So, however, yeah, so there are some stormy weathers coming up, and we have to weather the storm, getting through. And here's my best argument. No, you can't have access. 100% not. Nobody puts a Trojan on my Graphen OS, and nobody puts a Trojan on my computer installations. And this is it. And yeah, das Gregor, I think, how can I say this? You have to go away from System D, because System D is already putting stuff in place. It's like the legislation they put through in a moment with the age verification, with the digital ID. Oh, it's just on your computer. Once this legislation is pushed through, then they just have to amend it. And that's what they do, right? And they amend this and amend this. And if people would understand that these guys are your civil servants, they don't own the country, they don't own the land, they don't own the people, they don't own the internet, they don't own the money they are spending. They're actually owning nothing. They get paid by our money, and they have to work in our interest, and not from Facebook because they are lobbying something into place. Right? So people have forgotten. And police and army is there to defend the citizen. Not some, I don't know, if we have something like that, like corrupted politicians, or, for example, right? That cannot be true. But however, that is just that. And yeah, these are my VMs. You see, I've got quite a bit. I haven't used those anymore forever. Windows Nobara, that's my old 39. It still plays nice. It's all good. I've got Slackware, Salix 15. Then one used for Chrome, I've got Rocky, OpenMandriva, LXQT. I got the ROM and the normal version, Mageia 9. That is Linux Lite. I think the 6.8, which is still good. LMD E7, no, I would rather have LMD E6. 7 gave me some curveballs. I don't like the idea of having those. GhostBeastie for YouTube, Calculate Linux, but I couldn't get it running because for some reason I cannot make it boot with that patched through NVIDIA graphic card. I couldn't make it. Ah yeah, Calamara OS sounds good, but it has so many troubles if you want to install. I don't know. Too many troubles. Maybe I'll give it a try again. Boron is open box, Debian open box. And I think they're still on Bookworm, which is nice. Antique 32, I showed you Antique 32 in a VirtualBox, yeah. It's an amazing operating system. I like the 32-bit. I think we have a huge loss with the 64-bit versions. 32 is really, really cool. But, yeah, if you're for work, Antique 32 has everything you need for work. And I think MX has it for now too. So if you want to install it before, I think, June, because otherwise you got Firefox problems. But I think they will still have the packages available from the latest, and that's good enough for me. So yeah, I'm happy that Antiques is actually really holding the fort. Yeah, that's pretty nice. Very, very good. I like OpenMandriva. I had that too. I installed. I have to make a video about that. And I think I will use Mandriva again, and as well the LXQT version. Then I'll show you the other. You will love it. That is, it's not Gentoo, but it's something else you like very much. I'm very and yeah, I'm not giving it away. This is not going to happen. Endeavour, I'm not happy. I wanted to install a package manager, and they say, no, it's not made for it. Yeah, sorry, Linux is for choices and not for rules and regulations. So, not good. Yeah, OMV, of course, Open Media Vault, Antiques again, that's the 64 version then, the normal version. Yeah, so. And by the way, I think only das Gregor is on. So I have here a plugin to sleep the computer if the IP from idle. That I think is also an Antiques. And I've set a static IP, and the static IP is set in my script and is saying, if this IP is not online, go to sleep. That's why I have it on, because I'm running here on Devuan. Where is it? Where's my Devuan? Devuan, here it is. You see it's green, so it's running. That's what I'm running on in a moment. And it would get shut down if idle is not on. So what I'm going to do is usual. I have an app on my phone, even on my Google phone. I've got an APK version of Unconnect. That's an API to my server. And then I can go and I switch Devuan down as I usually do. Or I've got idle, for example, as user script. Stop idle, right? But if you look at it, it will take a moment. Edit script. Oh no, I didn't put a pause in. No, oh no, hold on, that's not the one. So, that's the log, I don't want it. Okay, so click and click. Why is it start light? I thought I had it here. Maybe it's gone. Maybe I didn't put it here. But I have a script usual. For example, if I want to change something here, right? If I want to go to Salix, I can't just. It's notice. Oh, it's. Oh dear me. Okay, no, I did it right. I have to learn clicking the right buttons here. Get in here. So, edit script. See, it says sleep in 30 seconds. Then it's shutting down idle. The idle, that's the machine's name, yeah, idle. Because in order to do this, if I go now and say switch off idle, then it kills my Devuan, so it doesn't get shut down properly. So I go to my script, say run the script idle. That means it gets shut down in 30 seconds. That gives me the time to shut down my Devuan or whatever I'm running here. Yeah, if I'm running calculate Devuan, GhostBSD, I can run whatever I want. If I want to get out and I don't want to do anything, I go to the scripts, activate it, so it shuts down in 30 seconds idle. That gives me the time to shut down nicely and gracefully my operating system. Well, it's pretty neat, no? Because yeah, I'm lazy. So, and I've got my server here next to me. It's always sleeping. I just push the start button and bam, it's back up. It's not booting. It's right away there. It comes out of sleep. And when it sleeps, it takes 2 watts hanging around doing nothing. And I'm totally happy with that. Yeah. And I like the virtualization in Unreal is so much easier. Instead, I mean, with Proxmox, I had nothing than hassle. Proxmox kicked the bucket so often that I had really no more joy, no more fun. Because you really need these big up versions and lots. And then I had one with corrupted on the end. I said, no, I'm done with Proxmox. No more. I'm not touching it. No more. All right, that is that. But I can't shut it down yet. I have to shut down the video. Then I have to put the video on my server. And from my server back, maybe on my laptop, put it on the ZME Linux virtual machine, load it up, and go from there. Now the video is really, really long, right? Okay, guys, you see uptime 1 month, 6 hours and 15 minutes. Because sleeping still is counted as uptime. Yeah, fine by me. Okay, so whoever listened till here, kudos to you. I hope it's entertaining a little bit what I'm telling here. And I hope that it is somewhat useful. Because I would say before they put everything in place, if you have, for example, I will install Linux Lite 6.8, LMDE 6 in virtual machines and run no more updates because I don't want to have the systemd spy system running and anything like that. So I fire them all up. I install as much as I can that I have a full working machine whenever I need to and ever I want to. And this is that. That's how simple it is to me. Brilliant. Okay, guys, so have a good night or a good day. Stay out of the troubles from, what is it called? The DDoS attacks on your soul, heart, and mind. Enjoy every day. Live every day for itself. Okay, guys, I'll see you next time then. Bye-bye.